What is going on, everyone? My name is Jason, and this is the 2017 MacBook Pro. Okay, as a tech YouTuber, one of the most important pieces of equipment I rely on is a powerful computer. I shoot in 4K, and editing video at that resolution requires some solid specs. Now, my primary go-to for all my video editing is this guy, my trusty 2015 5K iMac. Yes, I understand it's pretty dated considering it's 2019, and it's far from being the beast that the iMac Pro is, but I absolutely love this computer, and it's able to handle my workflow without any issues. But there is one major problem. It's not a mobile setup, which makes video editing on the move virtually impossible. Now, I don't travel that often, but considering that I am trying to be more consistent with my uploads, I concluded that it was time to look into picking up a MacBook Pro that would give me the ability to edit my videos on the road with relative ease. Sounds simple enough, but here's the thing. I didn't want to drop another huge bag on yet another Apple product. So instead of buying a new 15-inch base model MacBook Pro for $2,400, I decided to pick up a lightly used 2017 model, which I was able to snag up for only $1,550. Big cost savings, yes, but it does beg the question, is a 2017 MacBook Pro worth it in 2019? Now, before we get into the review, if you're into checking out the latest consumer tech products before you buy them, or if you're just a tech head like me, I make a video like this every single week, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell icon so you can be the first to know when a new JSL review is out and you don't miss anything. That being said, let's get into this MacBook. Okay, first let's talk physical design. And this is a no-brainer yes in terms of the 2017 being worth it, because from a physical design standpoint, it's exactly the same as the new models. And man, it's beautiful. There's no other way to describe it. This is my first MacBook Pro in space gray, and it's so well executed. It's the perfect blend of sophisticated and sleek, and it just screams premium. It's incredible how thin and lightweight Apple was able to make this computer, coming in at just 0.61 inches in height and only 4 pounds in weight. It's very accommodating when it comes to carrying it around with you, considering that this is a Pro device. And as always with Apple products, it's the little things that stick out. I still have yet to find another laptop that can best a MacBook's hinge design. Opening up the computer with one finger without any pulling on the base sounds pretty basic, but it speaks to another level of quality, and it's kind of a signature feature on all MacBook Pros. So before I get too Apple fanboy on this review, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about a physical design issue that's been plaguing MacBooks since 2016. When Apple first introduced their new super thin butterfly mechanism keyboards, it was met with mixed feelings as their old chiclet style keyboards were such a fan favorite. Well, it only got worse from there after a lot of people started experiencing a whole host of issues, ranging from sticky keys to all-out malfunctioning keyboards altogether. Now, this is something Apple tried to avoid addressing until it became prevalent enough to declare it a design flaw, and ultimately they initiated a keyboard service program for impacted MacBooks. That being said, the keyboard on my MacBook Pro doesn't seem to have any flaws yet in terms of functionality. I honestly don't mind the new one that much. Now, in response to this issue, the new MacBook Pros have an extra membrane to their keyboards to help avoid dust buildup, but word on the street is that these issues are still being experienced by some users. Not encouraging overall, but I think it's fair to say that you're not going to get much of an improved keyboard by buying new compared to an older model. In addition to the newer keyboard, it also comes with the infamous Apple Touch Bar. This is my first time actually really using it, and the techie in me thinks it's pretty cool, but the novelty of it wears off pretty quickly. And if you've been a Mac user for a while, you start very much missing the ability to do simple things like adjust volume or screen brightness with the dedicated buttons at the top. The Touch Bar not only makes you have to stop what you're doing to look down, minor adjustments like the ones just mentioned take a lot more attention. I mean, the silver lining is that the Touch Bar is here and not something exclusive to the newest MacBook Pros. And not only that, the 2017 model also comes with one of my favorite additions, Touch ID. Just like how it revolutionized the iPhone, Touch ID is a simple addition to the MacBook lineup, but something so convenient that you'll never want to type in a password again. Another great feature here is the massive trackpad that's almost overkill, to be honest, but it's again one of those things that you don't appreciate until you use a different laptop with what will seem like a tiny trackpad no matter what. It's not just convenient, it supports force touch and is pressure sensitive, and I'm a multi-touch gesture type of guy, so this trackpad is an absolute dream to use from an OS navigation standpoint. Now, when it comes to I/O, the 2017 15-inch model, just like the newest MacBook Pros, come with 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, 2 on each side, which I have to say is seriously great to have, as USB Type-C is the future, but I will admit it's still an adjustment. Not having an SD card reader is a true bummer as a video editor, and living the dongle life isn't exactly the best. best. But what you get in return is all the benefits of Thunderbolt 3, including the ability to use up to 2 external 5K monitors, like the gorgeous LG 5K Ultrafine I have here, super fast transfer speeds, and the ability to charge your computer using an external battery pack. Speaking of battery, the battery life between the 2017 and the newest MacBook Pros are pretty much the same, easily getting about 8 hours of day-to-day web browsing and basic application use, and around 4 to 5 hours of battery when doing more spec-intensive activity, such as video editing. Okay, last thing I want to touch on from a physical design perspective are the speakers. The stereo speakers sandwiching the keyboard are honestly the best speakers I've heard on a laptop. They are super loud, and the sound quality is a class ahead of most laptop speakers. I mean, they honestly sound more like a dedicated pair of external speakers. This is definitely one of the features that surprised me the most with this computer, and again, really great to see on the 2017 model. Okay, so up to this point, there really hasn't been any key differences that would make getting an older 2017 MacBook Pro less worth it than the new ones available today. But we haven't gone through the specs yet, and that's where we're going to see the biggest differences. But even when looking at hardware, it's not all that different. For example, both the 2017 and the newer 2018 models have the same Retina display, coming in at a 2880 by 1800 pixel resolution, so no difference there, which is great to see because the display is gorgeous. The colors are vibrant and masterfully calibrated, and everything comes off super crispy. As far as storage is concerned, they both start with a 256GB SSD configuration and can be upgraded to higher volumes. While the 2017 models max out at 2TB, the 2018 models can go all the way up to a whopping 4TB of storage configuration, so one slight advantage to the newer MacBook Pros. As far as memory, they both come standard with 16GB of RAM, the difference here being that the 2017 model can't be upgraded and comes with DDR3 memory, while the 2018 models can be configured up to 32GB and comes with DDR4 memory, which may not sound like a big deal, but I would say this is one of the key areas where the new models have an edge, as DDR4 is quite faster than DDR3 memory, making for overall better performance. And really the biggest area of difference here is going to be the processors these computers have. The 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro I have here comes with a 2.8GHz quad-core Intel Core i7 processor, which was a big deal when it came out because it was the first MacBook Pro to implement the much-wanted Intel Kaby Lake chip. And I have to say, performance overall on this machine is stellar. It's incredible how smooth and quiet this laptop runs, even when I load up Chrome with a ton of tabs, or when I'm editing 4K video on the move. Render times are blazing fast with Final Cut Pro, and really it's the perfect laptop for what I'm looking for. The newest MacBook Pros, however, come with a pretty big ace up their sleeves with Intel's 8th generation 6-core processors, which when paired with a DDR4 RAM, is a pretty significant boost in performance. Now, is it going to be a night and day difference in terms of day-to-day use? For me, as of right now, probably not. The gains in performance for the things I use the computer for, to me, isn't worth the close to the $1,000 extra I would spend on a new base model MacBook Pro. The only concern it slightly brings to the table is future-proofing. Sure, this computer is fine for me right now, but the inevitable day will come when I want to shoot in even higher resolution, or add some new effects to my videos that will ultimately require more power from my computer in order to do so, but I don't anticipate shooting in 5 or 8K anytime soon, and I think there's enough reserve horsepower on the 2017 to at least take care of any incremental power increase needs. At least I hope so. But hey, those are my thoughts, and we're talking about Apple products here, so you know there's going to be a lot of difference in opinion. What do you guys think? Do you guys think I made the right choice in picking up a used 2017 MacBook Pro instead of buying the newest model available? Or do you guys think it would have been worth shelling out the extra cash to get my hands on the fastest MacBook Pros available today? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. That's about it for this review. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you guys find it useful. It really helps me out. If you guys have any questions about the 2017 MacBook Pro, leave them down in the description and I'll be sure to get to them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.